Oh, there you are, YouTube. On the bike right now. Probably gonna do an hour workout. I ate beforehand, and I did take a little bit of the kids' nap time. So I'm just hoping they stay awake for quite a while so I can get a full hour's workout in. But anyway, I totally forgot, like 5 days ago, to talk about the 30-year anniversary of the release of Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. I realized that anniversary was coming up and had planned on celebrating it or talking about it in some capacity, and then it just totally passed by, and I'm realizing today that I missed it completely. So I don't know, I guess I'll talk about it 5 days late. Pretty epic movie from my childhood. Oddly, I never owned the VHS though, but I had like a Dick Tracy t-shirt. I had like this watercolor coloring book. Played the McDonald's game, if you're old enough to remember that, where you're, collecting characters and things like that. And I don't know, I feel like I'm amazed for how big and important it was to my childhood that I never owned the VHS. And there are quite a few. Actually, look at that VHS too, because it is designed so differently than most VHS tapes, like the box anyway. But yeah, there are a few movies that were big to my childhood, but for some reason I didn't own them on VHS. It was more through rentals or, seeing them in the theater and things like that. And I don't know, another example would be Encino Man. Big to my childhood, but never owned it. Same with like the first two Batman movies. I cannot believe I didn't own those on VHS, but they are a very strong part of my childhood from seeing them in the theater and, toys and things like that. But yeah, didn't own those on VHS, oddly. And Dick Tracy's another example of that. But I always appreciated the makeup in that movie, so much so that I wanted to be, as a kid, involved in movies, special effects artist, something like that. And I feel like that movie had quite a bit of impact in me wanting to take that path, or a path in art in general. And breathing hard now. It's kind of weird to bike and talk at the same time. But yeah, that movie's really epic. I just love the makeup so much. I think the makeup is so strong that Dick Tracy deserves a Criterion release. The Criterion Collection, where sort of like this they have these high standards of art and pushing film forward and things like that for them to release certain films on their physical media. Now they have a channel and things like that, but they pay special attention to the skill and craft that goes behind it, storyline also, and try and get these very in-depth, detailed releases of these films with a lot of information provided with them on the background of the movie, making of the movie, stuff like that. Also the highest quality version of the movie that they can produce. But I've always felt Dick Tracy deserves a Criterion release. It is unique, it is different, it is sophisticated, it's fantastic. It is a comic book on the screen before that was really being done in, I don't even know if it's, I guess the closest relationship it would have to is maybe Sin City. Maybe you could argue even Ang Lee's Hulk, but it's fantastic, super cartoony. It's like a live action cartoon, live action comic, in a way that takes its visuals extremely literally. I guess Watchmen was kind of that way too. I'm sure there are other examples I'm not thinking of, but I really do feel like Dick Tracy is a sophisticated, unique piece of cinema that deserves a Criterion release. Also, the cast is pretty fantastic. It's almost a who's who of noir and gangster films in a way, especially of the time. You know, missing a few, obviously, notable ones, but it does have a pretty epic cast. Also, I just read this recently that there was a longer cut of the movie that had to be trimmed down. And I don't know, you know, if it's ever put on Criterion, maybe they should release the longer version of the movie. Release the BEATTY cut, right? Can I get that going? Release the BEATTY cut of Dick Tracy? I think that would be fantastic. You know, still have the original available, but I'd like to watch both. And I'd like to watch them both on Criterion Collection media. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it was appreciated, but also is currently, and back then even, overlooked. It was like it was there, but also overlooked. The marketing for this was crazy, too. I just remember it was everywhere as a kid. I didn't have any of the toy figures, though. I'm not sure why. I don't even remember wanting them or requesting them. They had a very odd shape, so maybe since they didn't really match my like He-Man, Ninja Turtle figure shape, I was like, no, I don't want that, because they just don't look right. It's a very odd toy. So my guess is I just wasn't into the look of them. That didn't like appeal to me, so I never requested them that way. But other things, coloring books, watches, what else? T-shirts, clothing, things like that, I was definitely into. But I still don't know why I didn't get the VHS. I don't know what was wrong with me. I mean, you know, didn't have a lot of money growing up. So, you know, had to pick your VHS tapes very sparingly. And it's not like I was so young, I wasn't the one out there buying them. So I guess it's just one my mom never bought for me. My dad never bought for me. Man, I wish they would have, because I love that movie. I have it on DVD now, so I can watch it whenever I want, but it would have been cool to have it on VHS growing up. Also, because it's just such a wild VHS. I should get one on eBay, because, or Amazon, something like that. Doesn't matter where I get it. Just because it's such a unique box for a VHS. Take a look at it if you haven't. Everything's upside down, sideways. It is quite the design. Go suck an egg. You know, well, 5 days ago was the 30th anniversary of Dick Tracy being released. Today is the 45th anniversary of Jaws being released, which is kind of interesting because that's not a lot of time. When you get older, you realize that's not a lot of time. But the filmmaking, like the visual textures, everything that you're looking at, almost seems like a lifetime apart, which is wild to me. That, I don't know, just the look and feel of cinema, how different it is from 70s to 90s, or even like 90s to now. I feel like 90s to 2000s is kind of all about the same, but, you know, obviously CGI sort of changed the game there. What else? Yeah, but Jaws, that's another one that was very big in my childhood through rentals. I think it was on TV a lot too, because I know we didn't have the VHS, but, you know, kids love sharks. They're interested in sharks, so they're going to love Jaws. But Jaws, I feel like, was on all the time, even though I didn't own it on VHS. So that's another example of movies that made a strong impact on me, even though I didn't own the VHS. When you look at my top 5 films, they all are VHS tapes that I had, that I grew up watching over and over and over again. But that doesn't necessarily mean all of my favorite movies are those that I grew up with the VHS. Because again, Dick Tracy, didn't own it. Encino Man, didn't own it. Let me think of another one. I know there are more. Oh, well, yeah, Batman and Batman Returns. Didn't own them. I owned Batman Forever, though, and it made a big impact on me. But it is interesting. The ones that made an impact on me, yet I didn't own them because I was getting fewer viewings. Willow, that's another one. Big impact, didn't own it. Masters of the Universe, didn't own it, but had a huge impact because that, for me, is the very first film that I remember seeing in a movie theater. I could have seen one earlier, I'm not certain, but when it comes to like my memory able to recall, that's the first one I remember. Perhaps my parents took me when I was younger or a baby, but obviously I'm not going to remember those. So to me, what I concretely remember in my mind as the very first film that I saw in the movie theater, that goes to Masters of the Universe. And I didn't see it with my parents, I saw it with my neighbor. My best friend at the time, and they lived behind me. We shared backyards. Yeah, my friend and, well, his parents, like we were the same age, he was a year older than me, but his parents took me to see that. They took me to a lot of my childhood theater experiences, like Jurassic Park. I saw that. They took me to see that on opening day. My sister and I were interviewed by the local news when we saw that, and they did up the theater for that movie. There were torches, there were plants everywhere. Like, it was a spectacle. Like, I don't think I've seen anything like that since. I don't even know if movie theaters really do that anymore, outside of like standees and posters and things like that. I mean, with Star Wars movies, you know, they'll get the 501st there. But when it came to like really decorating the joint, like even outside, I feel like Jurassic Park was kind of it. Like that was big. Like as a kid, I even knew this is different. Very cool though. So yeah, happy 45th birthday to Jaws. Really went on a tangent there. Sorry for not showing the process, but I just made some hoisin glazed chicken. Let me see if I can get a nice pic without the shadow. Ooh, there we go. Udon noodles, chicken, hoisin glazed, all sorts of good miso flavors in there. I expect it to be fantastic. The moral of today's video is make sure you set an alarm for a topic that you may want to talk about, specifically when that topic is an anniversary and falls on a specific day. Because everything I said, I should have said 5 days ago. But at least I got that Jaws in. So that was good. But yeah, also Dick Tracy, such a good movie. Did pretty well at the Oscars, won like 3 of them. Makeup, and art direction, you know, probably, you know, should have gotten more wins, more nominations. It also got Best Song. You know, I might have even thrown it into Best Picture. Take out Godfather 3. But then we have other good movies from 1990, like, you know, Edward Scissorhands, you know? That one would have been an interesting and nice Best Picture nominee. Toss out Godfather 3, put in Edward Scissorhands. I would have been cool with that. But anyway, today we're here to talk about Dick Tracy. Great movie, should have been nominated for more, should have won more, I think. I mean, I don't know. Like cinematography, it was nominated, didn't win. Dances with Wolves won. You know, I guess that's a hard one to, you know, say, you know, it shouldn't have won in terms of, you know, cinematography. It is a beautiful movie to look at, but I don't know, just Dick Tracy's so unique. I really dig it. So anyway, this has been the Dick Tracy 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Who knows how long this is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and edit this and then post it and then head to bed. So maybe I'll see you tomorrow for more Peer Hangout.